tell us, do you have any horror stories with projects screwed up or things like that? And how do you overcome those kind of challenges? I'm sure there is. Welcome back to Connecting the Dots, and we are here today. We're going to have a very special guest with us. His name is Kevin Fu. He's from Cuura Rent. So Cuura Rent is actually a company that helps mainly investors, of course some with homeowners, to really make over their house and then rent it out at a very quick pace. Am I right, Kevin?
Yep.
Right. So today we're going to ask him a few questions about his businesses and of course about himself. And then hopefully listeners, you will find this very helpful, especially if you are looking to rent out your unit for those newly vacant possessions property. I'm sure he's the right guy to go to. All right, Kevin.
Yeah.
Hi.
All right.
Are you okay?
Good
Are you
morning.
feeling good?
Yes, I am.
Great. So Kevin, maybe for a start, you can just tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and actually how you got into this Cuura Rent business.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, I think to be honest, I mean I'm the most general and regular person that you have met on the street. But it's just that I came from a background of IT.
Okay.
Right. Computer science to be precise, and I've been into IT, into banking. And of course now real estate, right? And you talk about, why, at the end of the day, I choose real estate as
Correct.
my mainstay. It's basically, I'm a very creative guy.
I can see that just from your appearance and
Wow.
dressing.
Okay. Yeah. Creative in the sense that I like to do things my way and creating a brand. And of course, I have ideas how to, elevate certain things and all those. So when it comes to real estate, especially curating or doing certain makeovers for a unit, right? It gives me a sense of, I can complete this from scratch.
Wow.
So that's the general idea,
Okay.
as a person,
Yeah.
why I get into this kind of business at the end of the day.
Yeah. So for your creativity DNA, right, where do you think you get it from? Is it like since young you are always very creative person, or when did you discover this passion that you like, to create things from scratch, to put your personality into the design, and you obviously have an eye for aesthetics. Like where did you get that inspiration from?
To be honest, I don't know.
Okay.
It's just naturally that I
Right.
have this sense of minimalist in me.
Okay.
And I like things to be in order,
Right.
right? In uniform.
Okay.
I mean, normally they call it OCD,
Yes,
but
yes.
I don't tend to associate that with me.
Yeah.
But from young, I do like to do things like, everything in order,
Ah.
right?
Okay.
So I don't really like those fancy
Yeah.
stuff going
Yeah.
around too much. So when it comes to designing and or creative aspects, it's more like it's more showing that I am that person that who likes to be more uniform.
Wow. Okay. So since you didn't discover this particularly since young, or did someone tell you that, hey, Kevin, I realized that you are like that, and then you're like, oh, okay, then you're more self-aware kind of thing, right?
I'm an artistic person,
Ah.
right? I like to draw.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
I can draw quite a bit.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, and of course, I also learned it through my working days,
Yeah.
because I do have I used to have a boss who is very meticulous, and he's that person that he wants things to be done, in a systematic order, and everything has to be in place.
Wow.
Like
okay.
like typography, all right,
Yeah.
or even the way how he make a sentence and all those things.
Yes.
So when I learned from that, I think that I could use it in the future, and that's how I want to shape
Okay.
the team or whoever
Right.
that I would.
But you did not actually go into interior design. You didn't actually go take a degree out of it or a course, right?
No.
It's just very naturally in you that you're inclined towards this
Yeah.
space. Okay, so Cuura Rent. The word Cuura, maybe you can explain a little bit about the branding, the name. How did you come about this Cuura Rent?
Okay, I think Cura, it was thought out by the owner itself,
Okay.
right? Of course, it comes from this word curate.
Right.
Yes, that is
Okay.
how we want to curate all
Yeah.
these furnitures for that, the purpose of,
Yeah.
getting things done up. So I think by having the rent at the back, is basically we wanted to have an impression that once we have done with the makeovers, then we are looking at the rent part.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, I think the secret of a good makeover is
Yep.
always how can I get this out to the market faster,
Correct.
right? So to the
Correct.
owners, basically, if I engage you,
Yeah.
right, how can you make my unit stand out
Correct.
and get rented out quicker?
Yes.
I think that's the only secret.
So that is basically the tagline of a business, the core of a business is really to help owners to rent the unit as fast as possible.
Yes.
And also, what about in terms of the rental? Would you try to educate your owner that, okay, if you want to fetch a certain price range, which is maybe 10% or 5% higher than the average market rental, how would then you advise the owner to say that, if you want to fetch 5% higher, not only you want to be fast, you want to be at a very good price, premium price. So how do you going to add value or educate your sellers to furnish up the property to meet that goal?
Okay. I mean, I hate to say this, but sometimes, especially in the Malaysian market, right? Let's talk about Klang Valley itself.
Yeah.
I think most of the time, investors they are pretty binded by the fact that it's all about budget.
Yes, it's all
Right.
about
So
money.
and of course we do have ways to go about it.
Okay.
Because normally, usually when we engage a customer,
Yeah.
we'll sort of ask them, do you have a budget that we can work within?
Of course.
Not something that you want us to do it, but
Yeah.
something that we can work within.
Okay.
So and we being very flexible on that,
Yeah.
probably we can sit down with the owners and decide what's best for them.
Mm.
Now that comes after when we have a look at the locations of the residents, right, and the surroundings,
Yeah.
how this will affect the future tenants that's
Okay.
coming in to your place. So of course there are ways of doing up your unit,
Yeah.
How it will appeal to
Okay.
those people that could potentially rent your place.
Okay.
But I think in that sense, we are more prepared. And once you get that done, then of course the next biggest piece for us is also getting the right real estate agency
Yeah.
to help us, to get this thing.
Yeah, done it fast.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so if let's say today, meaning when you say that you are also very flexible and you would customize the design and the furniture according to the budget of that owner, right? You are very budget centric in a sense that it's not because you want to sell a certain design based on what you think is good or not, but you actually would tailor made according to that homeowner's budget and what kind of ROI they are looking for, right? So when it comes to that, right, if let's say today I'm a newly investor and my condo is going to VP very, very soon. So what would be your advice to this first-time investor in order to get their unit rent out fast? And what is the first step? Like, is it to take their own sweet time to do defect check, or sometimes they don't even know what to check when it comes to defect, right? Or you would say that this step can be waived, or rather you can skip this step and straight away get Cuura Rent to come in, measure, and what would your advice be?
Well, I think when we first started, we are just basically doing fittings in terms of the furnitures and such, right? There's nothing much.
Okay.
So I think towards the end, we found out that those owners, especially the investors that are normally those first-time owners of a property, then probably they will not know what to do first,
Yeah, exactly.
right? So I think that from that point onwards, we thought that hey, maybe we can extend our services a little further, and I think now we are doing like the entire service from obtaining the key from the customers all the way to property management.
Right.
Yeah, so by that, okay, the customers is rest assured that the moment they engage us, they will be guided step by step.
Oh.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, I was a home buyer myself before, and I was like most of them.
Yeah.
That could be my only property, and I don't want to
Exactly.
screw it up.
Yeah, exactly.
And I also want somebody to help me to understand how should I go about my renovations,
Yes.
right, or
correct.
even some makeovers.
Correct.
So I think it's very crucial that somebody like us
Yeah.
can actually come to you and tell you, okay, don't worry, we can guide you step by step,
Yeah.
and what you need to do for your home to at least make it presentable, right? Get it out in the market, and people are actually looking at your place and inquiring about it.
Yeah, but presentable actually can be so subjective.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure there's also an objective way to look at it. We are all human beings. We all know what is comfortable, what is not comfortable, right? So, I mean, based on your experience in helping your homeowners to rent it out fast, right? What are the basic things to make it presentable or appealing? Yeah.
Okay. For makeovers, in terms of the interiors, to us at least, there's only two ways of looking at it.
Okay.
Either it's the darker theme or the lighter theme.
Yeah.
Right? People like to associate with like Scandinavian, Muji, industrial.
Yes.
But to us, it's just a mixture of all these darker tone furnitures against a more varieties of similar tone items around the house that makes it into a theme.
Okay.
So that's how we see it. It's just dark and light.
Yeah.
So, but when we talk to the customers, normally they would want their place set up the way they like it.
Yeah.
We 100% support that, because at the end of the day, whatever we can tell you or we consult you, it's all about our experience of getting this thing done up.
Yeah.
But the most important part is, do you like it as an owner? I think that's the most important part.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But what about owners that really is even for purely investment? Do you think they have certain emotional attachment to how the house will turn out to be? For pure investors?
I think for most of the people that we serve, or customers that we serve, like we mentioned earlier, they are the first-time buyers, right? So there's not much of an emotional attachment to that particular unit.
Okay.
I think at the back of the mind, mostly it's like, how can I make this and get it out and get the returns and repay my mortgage. I think that's the only thing at the back of my mind.
Yeah. What about like the must item that you have to include in a unit in order to be presentable and get it rented out fast?
Yeah. Okay. We call that actually a tenantable space, right? What makes a tenantable space is basically, I think the first thing, you need to get a working kitchen.
Okay.
I mean, you can't stay in a place where you have no kitchen, right?
Okay.
So a working kitchen, and of course, you need to have lights.
Yep.
At most, you need to have fans.
Yes.
Okay. No aircon. I think that's still fine.
Is it really okay? Do you really think people will rent without aircon?
Tenantable.
Right.
So that at least you can get it out and let people understand that this is something that I can live in. Okay. But in terms of really, you want it to be appealing. Of course, there are more things to be included. Like wardrobes, right? A bed, or a sofa, at least, right?
Okay.
So I think for a person who just gotten their keys and after doing the defects and they really want to get this up and running, I think there are a few things that we can advise is, of course, get the kitchen running, right? Get all the lights and fans in all the areas that is required. And then, of course, you want to make things look nicer, get a nice curtain, okay? Then, of course, the necessary furnitures to fill up the space. Then, of course, once it's done, my team will probably just do a staging for them, right, and do up the place. It looks really, really nice. Then you can get into the market, and people will generally like to see nice things.
Yeah, for sure. Aesthetic things. Yeah, for sure. But when you say working kitchen, what do you mean by that? Is there a definition? What is included in this working kitchen?
Okay, for us, the term working kitchen is, of course, you need to have a place to wash.
Okay, a sink.
And of course, a place to cook.
Okay.
And of course, you need the hood. So to me, that is working.
Three things.
Yes, In terms of the cabinets and shelves, I think that is up to you, right? Based on your budget and how we can actually get the idea across. What to do for your kitchen. So, but at the end of the day, I think the working kitchen is more towards the washing, the cooking, and also the hood.
Right. And then you mentioned that if let's say like things like beds, sofa, if you have the budget, put it in. But if you don't, it's also okay. And you have seen in your track record that even though you don't provide such things, it can also be rented out as quick as they want. Is that true? Or how does it... Would that make a huge difference? Maybe my question is.
Yes and no.
Okay.
Now, I rented a house before, and I myself, I'm that kind of person that I would like certain things to be like, I can get it myself. So I may not be the person who wants to have a fully furnished home.
Okay.
Okay. But I've also seen, okay, for the past 2 years, most of the customers, they want to offer more to the customers. There's no wrong to it,
Yeah.
because someone who's not like me, who there are other people who
Yeah.
thinks that if the owner can get me most of the things that I
Yeah.
need to stay there, that'll be perfect.
Yeah,
Right? It
that's
minimizes my cost, and all
Yeah.
those things. Yeah, I think
Hassles, yeah.
to us it doesn't matter, okay, because as long as we get our services across, and the general idea is just to make you, your unit is prepared to be out in the market
Yeah.
and get your tenant fast.
So let's backtrack a little bit. Before Cuura Rent, when I just doing some research on this company, it was started with Cuura Space first, and maybe you can share a little bit what is Cuura Space, and then how it would suddenly pivot to become, not say pivot, expand, right? It's an additional division into Cuura Rent.
Okay. Well, we have two. One is Cuura Space and one is Cuura Rent. Cuura Space, we are still operating, and it's an online business for us, right?
Okay.
On most of these loose furnitures,
Right.
And you can see really, really nice
Okay.
furniture. So that for Cuura Rent, is basically something that we started about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
The reason why we started Cuura Rent is because we thought, we've been doing furnitures and people have been buying. We slowly gained some fans along the way. And we thought that, okay, now there's a lot of projects going on, and
Yeah.
then very soon they'll get vacant possessions. And then it's about time we get these things, a service to help these guys.
Yeah.
Right. So I think by mid 2022,
Okay.
right, I got into the business, and then we start from scratch.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
Technically, there's nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, no sales material,
Yes.
and then we have limited furnitures for the business, for the rent business, right? So then I slowly, got my team,
Yeah.
and then we started to get our first job,
Right.
And then, of course, we do have collaborations with,
Yeah.
estate agents, like yourself, and also some developers. So I think 2 years down the road,
Yeah.
I think now we are slowly getting ourselves into the big boys,
Very good.
place,
Yep.
where we're talking to developers and we are doing bigger projects. Yeah. So I think at the end of the day, Cuura Rent was set up because we wanted to get more from our furniture business,
Right.
and offer this to the market.
Would you say that your main target audience for Cuura Rent is really investors, like the main core clients that you have?
Now, actually, it's quite funny because I noticed for the past 8 months or so, we've been gathering a lot of own stay leads.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure whether now the market there's more, landed properties that is
Yeah.
up and all, and then, but it's just that I noticed that there are more inquiries from the landed,
I see.
all right, and there's more own stay, even for condos. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's
when you say own stay, meaning they are already staying there, or is a newly bought place that they want renovation?
Newly bought.
Newly
And
bought.
they want to do it up for themselves.
Wow. Okay. So do you think right now, because you're getting all these leads, right? How do you handle these leads? Because it's a little bit of a shift of target audience, right? Because you started off with investors, then now a lot of homeowners. In terms of back end operation, how would you tweak to accommodate these homeowners' need, or do you give them maybe higher quality or more durable furniture, or things like that? How would you manage these?
Well, that's
Yeah.
on point. Now, because the expectations from these homeowners
Correct.
that who wants to do it up and then they
For
use
own
it for their
stay,
own stay,
yeah.
right? I think quality is definitely the number one thing that they want, and of course the expectation is very different. They also require a little bit more ID, right? Because they're going to stay there for a long time, and
correct.
definitely they want some, when they wake up, they want to see something that is really, really, that
Yes.
pleases them.
Correct. That's
Right?
right. That's
So
right.
I think how we approach these customers is not too different.
Yep.
It's just that my sales guys would, and the ID guy would basically just sit down with them and go through what are the things that you think is more important to you Yeah,
Okay.
some of them they want lightings,
Yep.
right? Track lights. They
Yes.
want some the plasticity
Yeah.
with concealed
Yes,
lights,
yes, yes,
or
yes.
some they just want to have really nice looking feature walls, right? Or
Yeah.
some they just tend to have nice looking furnitures
Yeah.
that can actually
Okay.
blends
Yeah.
just seamlessly with the entire unit.
Oh.
So to us, we have all these things.
Okay.
So it's just up to whether we can meet at a point where you like this and we can offer that.
So you mentioned that you actually have your own ID design, in-house ID designer that consults, or how do you, your back end, how does it work?
Well, we used to have, but
Okay.
now I think because we are shifting to we're rebranding ourselves,
Okay.
right? And we're going to shift soon to another office. So I
Okay.
think we're going to find a new team,
Okay.
that will be able to do this because,
Right.
like I mentioned earlier, we are getting into those bigger projects and such.
Yes.
So definitely we need an ID team to take care of certain things, lah. Yeah.
Do you feel that you may pivot your business from makeovering new units to rent it
Makeover,
out,
yeah.
right? Or you will be someday you will become a design and build kind of renovation company.
I tend not to go too far.
Okay.
Because it wasn't in a plan in the first place,
Yeah.
right? But you never know.
Yeah.
Because I think recently we spoke to some of these developers and they really wanted to get us into a picture where it's a design and build thing.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're still thinking about it.
Okay.
But for the time being, I think I still need to grow the team and,
Yeah.
and the business. So
Yeah.
let's
To
see
gain
how
more
it
market
goes.
share, right? Okay, when it comes to market share, right, do you feel that it's a very competitive market in the niche business that you are in Klang Valley at least?
I don't know. I mean, if you ask somebody else, right?
Yeah.
They'll probably tell you yes.
Yeah.
I hate to admit it, it's a yes,
It's a
but
yes, right.
my personality is like this. I tend to, not to get drowned out by all these noises.
Yeah.
So to me, in fact, I always tell my sales team, I say, when you meet a customer,
Yeah.
just keep telling yourself you're the only one they are meeting.
Ah.
So you basically just block yourself from all these unnecessary, problems.
Yeah.
Because when you meet a customer and you keep thinking that there are other people,
That's
the
right.
competitors are actually talking
Yeah.
to the customers
Yeah.
and how would they react and all
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
that won't help. So same goes to my business. To me, I mean, I can go through all these Facebook pages
Yeah.
and see there's a lot of similar setups
Services,
like us, but I don't think I want to use that as a point where I know there's a lot of competitions.
Understand.
Right? Well,
Understand.
at the back of my mind, yes, subconsciously I know there's a lot.
Yeah.
But when you come out and do business, I think it's very important that you keep telling yourself you're the best.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I think same goes with real estate agents that whenever we want to pitch to our sellers to appoint us to be the exclusive and whatnot, it's true we really have to come in with the attitude that we already win the listing in a sense like before we go and meet the client, and then we do our best to present what services that we can give, what value add things that we can offer as compared to our competitors. But then comes to this point, what makes Cuura Rent very different as compared to the other boys outside? Like, is there something that why client likes you all more than others?
I think the term would be flexibility. Yeah. I'm not too sure about how the other business doing it, right? But I'm kind of sure that there are not many that is doing it like us.
Okay.
The point where I say we are being more flexible is the sense that we tend to be more intimate with the customers and really sit down with them and just basically trash out whatever that they think they need.
Yes.
And we give them our point of views and some references or even consultations just to make sure that at the end of the day, whatever you want, we are able to provide. But at the same time, with a little touch of advice from us because we've been doing this for a long time. And I think the main reason you came to us also because you know that we can do the job, right? So also that plays a very important part that I think to me, I want to keep it that way.
Right. So I hear it that you really journey with them and you really tailor-made. Like, it's not like a package. You don't sell package, right? Okay, you know, this one 15K is like that, 20K like that. You know, it's always customizable.
Right.
It's always tailor-fit to the customer's need.
Right.
I really, really love that because it's very in sync with how my team works as well. We also really, we call it journeying with the seller. And I think it's very important because every house is very different.
Right.
Every seller has different personality, different needs, different goals. And I think if, let's say, we do package style, right, it's gonna, maybe you would have, you will capture a bigger pool, but retention or loyalty or referral may be lesser,
Yes.
like, in my opinion lah.
I mean, it's a little bit narrow, like
Yes,
that way,
correct. Wow. Okay. If today, go back to the investment point of view and money point of view, right? Let's say a 750 square feet, 2-bedroom. I just got my keys yesterday. Okay, so I'm going to call Kevin now. You know, I'm going to call Cuura Rent now. What kind of information I need to provide to your team to come up with a proposal fast enough so that while I'm doing defect check or whatnot, I already know how much I need to spend, how much I need to set apart, and the estimation date of when it will be completed. Maybe you can share that process.
Okay, I think that is a very valid question for most of our customers, because at the end of the day, when they come and look for us, they also want to know how much can you do this for me.
Correct.
So I think we do have templates.
Okay.
Now, I mean, just backtracking from the packages that we were talking about earlier, right? I think we also have packages because you can't run this kind of business by doing too flexible.
Correct.
So we do have packages, but the package is merely just just something that as a guide, for reference. Let's say if I were to do this with all this, what's the price? If I were to add certain things, what's the price? And we do have all these add-ons.
Okay.
Well, let's think of it like, you know, like a McDonald's. Right? You have this value meal, you have the happy meals and all those things. Yeah, we do provide that. But in terms of how we want to be more flexible is, you know, let's say if you want to take away the fries, you can add an apple pie, you know, and we are offering a very good price if you want to do a swap such a way. So I think at the end of the day, if you come to us and say, you know, I have this layout, how much can you do it for me? Well, I can throw you that package or, you know, based on that kind of you know, layout. But I think it's better that we understand, first of all, of course, the budget that you would like us to work within. And of course, then we have to understand, you know, I mean, if you were to get this out and then you want to rent it out. So there is a way where we try to qualify and see, you know, what sort of tenants that you will be expecting. So that actually plays an important part, how you want to make this up. For a family, whether it's family oriented, it's going to be slightly different, okay? And if it's more on working adults, then it's slightly different. I mean, for students, yes. So we have to understand all this first. So of course, we do our homework, right? Before we even get into a certain project or residence, we will try to understand the demographics and all those things, right? So it's easier for us when we want to consult the customers, right? Then let them decide also what ultimately what we want to do with their unit. Right. So I can't tell you exactly like, oh, for a 750 square feet, 2-bedders, how much would it cost? But I normally, what I will tell the customer is we do have a very simple, generic calculations. I mean, like, you know, curtains and all these are pretty blanket, right? So I can just tell you off, now this is the rough estimation if you were to do up all this. But at the end of the day, we also, you know, we are very flexible. You can talk to us and we can come to a point that see like if there's anything that you probably don't need or you don't need it now, okay, we can work it out.
But what is a reasonable budget of an investor should at least have some cash in hand already, you know, when they want to rent it out, to do up for example, a basic unit that the unit doesn't come with anything, just wall tiles and paint kind of thing or flooring. What's a reasonable budget lah?
Okay, because I do have customers coming to me and they have all these properties where the developers actually provide quite a number of things for them. You know, so normally I'll just tell them, wow, you're so lucky, you know. You know, for the kitchen itself, you save almost like, you know, 8 grand or 9 grand out of it, right? So I think for those bare units, a little unfortunate, but at the same time, I also tell them it's also good that you can actually plan this yourself, right? The way you want it. But if you talk about budget, I think it's a little bit, it's very subjective also, right? But from my from Cuura point standard, I think you don't spend more than 8% of the total value of that
Property.
unit,
When
of that
you,
property.
what you bought lah.
Yes, correct. Right.
8%.
Yeah, somewhere in the region of 6 to 8%.
Right.
Right. I
Okay.
mean, if you were to do it for investment, then probably about 6%.
Yeah.
Right. If you go anything above that, then you have to tell yourself, okay, you want more quality, you want certain things within
Yeah.
that unit that is
Yeah.
a little bit more extra.
Yeah.
Yeah, then it's up to you whether you want to do that.
Is there anything that you don't do one?
Yes.
Like what?
A lot.
Okay.
No, actually, there's two main things that we don't. We don't do heavy renovations. Basically, we talk about all this, hacking of walls and such. We don't do that.
Okay.
And of course, the plumbing works, or we call it
Okay.
wet works.
Okay.
Right? Because some of the customers, they came to me and say, I want to add another bathroom here. Can you move this thing there? We don't do that. lah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
For the time being,
Sure,
because I
sure.
think that's way beyond of what we set out to do, lah.
Right. So you won't change structure, you won't change from this toilet bowl to that toilet bowl
no,
kind of thing lah.
no.
But anything like wiring, you basically cover everything.
Yes.
We call it the soft fittings lah, right? Right. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And how long will your team take from the day that they pay deposit? I'm sure there's a deposit, right?
We don't call it deposit, but it's just that it's the pre and post charges that we
I
charge the
see.
customers, right?
Okay.
So normally in the business, before we even start work,
Okay.
everything is agreed,
Yeah.
right? Then the customer will place a 50%
Okay.
payment.
Right.
Yeah. So and then once we are doing it, and then towards the end, before we hand over, we do a
Okay.
handover, then we will do another 50% charge. Yeah.
Okay. How long will it take?
Okay, for a normal unit, without any built-ins,
Yeah.
well, basically you're talking about a week or two.
Oh.
Very quickly we can do it up. But with all
Okay.
these built-ins, I think it's not because we can't do it fast. It's just that the suppliers or even the contractors sometimes you need to arrange the time. Yeah. So that will probably prolong
And
it a little.
if let's say we do have built-ins, kitchen cabinet, wardrobes, maybe even what is it called? The TV,
The cabinets.
the cabinets. What is the longest time a client would expect it to hand over?
Usually for these standard built-ins, we're talking about
Condo
a month.
lah, condo.
About a month.
A month lah.
Yeah.
Okay, not too bad. So will you also assist the client to do the management, what is it called? Approval and whatnot? Do you need to submit plan? You don't need, right? Because it's all soft fittings.
We just need to apply for the permit lah.
Okay. Okay. And I'm also curious that kind of durability of the furniture that we're talking about, because I think, as we know, some tenants may not take care of the things as much as the homeowner, right? In your experience so far, have you gotten a call from owner that said that, wow, the chair is broken, the TV set is not working? I don't know. Have you received such complaint that you have to replace or things like that? Or is there a guarantee that you provide?
Well, I mean, of course, we do have this kind
Okay.
of complaints,
Yeah.
right? But we don't see it as complaints because the customer doesn't seem like they're complaining. It's just that they found out that there are certain defects. Then they call us up, and they know very well they can get compensated because we already advertised it, saying that there's a 3 years warranty for most of the items. Yeah,
okay.
and of course we also have this 30 days return policy.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the customers can return the products that they don't really like or they don't feel like it's something that they wanted in the first place.
Wow,
But of
okay.
course, with the small fees, we call it the restocking fees,
Yeah.
right? We can do that for them.
Oh.
So actually, it eases them a little bit,
yeah, give
because
them a lot of peace of mind. Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, we just want our customers to feel like when we engage you,
Yeah.
we don't have to worry of too many things,
Yeah.
right? And if certain things happen, accidentally
Yeah.
or there's incidents, we can take care of it.
Oh, wow! You actually offer 30 days of return, and just with a small restocking fee, and that's
Yes.
all.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be broken, right? Within the 30 days,
No,
I can
yeah.
just change my mind.
Yeah. I think the reason why we have that is because we don't have a show unit
Okay.
prior to this,
Okay.
right? So I think the customers, when they came to us, it's just really purely based on trust.
Yeah.
It's like buying something off Shopee, right? And
yes.
when it comes, it's a different thing. It's a totally different thing. But most of the time, it's exactly how
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
But some customers, they felt that the color doesn't seem like how I saw it
yeah.
in in your
Understand.
catalogs or whatever.
Yeah.
So can I actually change this? Yeah, we can.
Oh,
Yeah.
So in terms of furniture measurement, when I give you the layout, do you already have certain measurement that your team provides, or as an owner, I have to go and measure myself and give you the measurement? How does it work?
Okay, because we do have leads coming in, okay, from all these newer projects.
Yeah.
So my team, okay, my salesperson will normally, if there's a first lead that comes in from this new project,
Okay.
they'll definitely go on site. They will definitely go for a site visit,
Okay.
and they will do measurements on most of the stuff that they
I
need.
see.
Yeah, so by doing that, the next lead that comes
Yes.
along, we know exactly
already know
how
already.
to do the quotations for them. Yeah, what to expect.
Yeah. You will also advise that, okay, this space can only fit 4-seater. Please don't put a 6-seater kind of
Yes.
thing, right?
I mean, that's part of our job.
Yeah.
You know, we can't be putting a 4-seater for a
Yes.
3-seater space.
Yeah,
So that's part of our job as well.
So
Space planning.
exactly. So I can actually right now if let's say I know my VP is coming soon end of the year, and I already have the layout when I bought the unit, right, from the developer, I can actually give it to you. You can give me a rough quotation already, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really good. So I can actually pre-plan my budget.
Right. If
before
you're
I
not the
get my
first one
keys.
from that particular residence,
Yeah.
probably you get it real fast.
Interesting. Okay, so when handover, what happens during handover?
What happens during handover? Handover, lor.
You just come. And
No,
then,
I think for handovers, right, we will definitely involve the customer, I mean the owners, right? We will walk them through. The project management team and even the salesperson, they will walk them through, right? They will do inspections.
Okay.
Yeah, they definitely have to, open the wardrobes.
To check everything,
Yeah,
right?
open and close the drawers, everything. So once they're satisfied, right, then we will have a handover form.
Okay.
So they'll just sign it off.
Okay. So you mentioned 3 years warranty. What does that mean?
Well, on most of the items, especially those, the frames and all those things, we do provide a 3 years warranty. Unless you're talking of those spring pockets on certain sofas and all, where mostly is due to wear and tear. Those are the things that we don't. But we have a very clear, the clauses that we have in our website, what is within that 3 years warranty.
I see. But electrical appliances, you don't cover, right? That is basically you will just manage the purchasing and the delivery, but because those are not manufactured by you, right? It's by those people. So warranty are from basically back to the manufacturer.
Yes. We will always get the customer to understand this, and they will normally do the warranty themselves if there's any incidents. Yeah.
Okay. Come back to project managing. I mean, I imagine it's not going to be easy. I mean, just by one house, when I did my house renovation, also it's like so many problems and hiccups can happen, right? But you have to handle multiple units at the same time. So how does your project management people work?
I think this one I really have to credit the project management team, because by looking at their schedules,
exactly.
Actually it's about how they can actually manage their time, because these guys on a typical day, I think they have about 3 areas or 3 projects that need to run around, right? Because they definitely have to go around opening doors for the contractors. Sometimes they have to be there to really monitor how they install the furniture and all those things. So I think it's crucial that they know exactly what they are doing.
Okay.
So they have a schedule form where even the calendars and everything. So they really need to be very focused.
Who is the person that would always be in contact with the homeowner and is it the project manager or the sales team?
Okay, by right in our industry, it's the project management. But I think because there are things, like I said, we are being a little bit more flexible than the rest. So most of the time, the salesperson itself would be part of the conversation, because that's how they manage the expectations from the owner. Because the project management, they will never know what is agreed among the salesperson. So it's crucial that the salesperson is always in the communication. And if there's anything that the owners think that they want to change, they want to do, then they'll go back to the salesperson, and the salesperson will advise the project management.
So the first point of contact is always the salesperson, and then when they agree to the work scope, the project management team will come in, and basically the homeowner do not need to deal with contractors. Can I say that?
Yep. They don't have to.
Okay. So everything is sales and the project manager.
Yes.
Right. Tell us, do you have any horror stories with projects screwed up or things like that? How do you overcome those kind of challenges? I'm sure there is.
So shameful on this. Actually, no. The bigger one that I can recall is basically it's just the color of the kitchen cabinet.
Oh.
I think they did a messed up.
Okay.
It's a little messed up because the owner did told the salesperson they wanted this particular color code,
Okay.
right? But we don't know how it got messed up between the salesperson and also the contractor. They ordered a totally different color.
Not even similar,
Yes.
same tone.
Yes, and so happened because normally the salesperson
Yeah.
would monitor the unit themselves
Yeah.
occasionally.
Okay.
But I don't know, when this thing happened, right, it really happened
Yes.
thick and fast. During that project, the salesperson didn't even, he didn't do it as usual.
Okay.
So it was like a week later when
Okay.
this thing was installed and everything was
Okay.
ready, then he went there. In fact, he didn't even notice that at first.
Okay.
So after when looking at that, and then he thought, hey, no, this wasn't the color that was agreed.
Yeah.
So when he looked back at the quotation,
Yeah.
it was the color that they
Yeah.
we were talking about, but somehow it got translated to
Okay.
another color. So that basically set off the
Of course.
owner.
Of course.
So how
Oh my
can this
gosh.
be?
Yeah.
So I think it's also like, I think we are quite lucky in terms
Okay.
of getting our customers to buy our ideas, because for that particular incident, the color of the kitchen cabinet actually matches the color of the unit. It's just that the owner wanted something more contrasting.
Understand.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, I think we are really lucky that the customer understands.
Yeah.
I mean, if we were to
Yeah.
take out the
dismantle
entire thing
everything,
and
yeah.
redo it again, it may cost
Of
quite
course.
a troublesome stuff
Yeah.
for us. So I think on that basis, it's not really a horror story, but I want this to be a lesson to
course.
everyone, the team, saying
Yeah.
that things will happen
Yes.
and be prepared.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, so
Yeah.
we are more diligent and we're more aware of
That's
things.
really good.
Yeah.
That's really good. I think it's also important that we all human beings make mistakes, and it's important to just own it up and really just take the responsibility to rectify it, and just do our best lah, right,
Yes.
to overcome those situations. I really like that.
Right.
And I think right now your team, how big is your team right now?
For now, I think for the sales team we have about 6 of us.
Okay.
Right, and then for the project management, that will be almost the same capacity,
Wow,
right? Because
okay.
we also loop in the logistic guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just for the listeners' sake, right, you only cover Klang Valley, or you also do other states in Malaysia?
We
Yeah.
are going up north very soon.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's Klang Valley and the North, Penang lah. Is
Yeah.
it Penang? Right.
Right.
Okay, good. How can our listeners reach out to you today?
Well, I think before we actually complete our rebranding exercise,
Yeah.
for now they can actually reach us at our Facebook page.
Okay.
And because if they were to get into our ads, that they will be redirected into our current web page.
Okay.
It's almost the same thing, but
Okay.
most of our activities, our marketing activities,
Yeah.
will come from Facebook
Facebook.
and Instagram.
Okay, so Cuura, Cuura Rent on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
So, if today you find this very useful and you want to speak to Kevin yourself, just go to the social media page, Cuura Rent, and you'll be able to reach to his team. So thank you so much. I hope that you find this episode useful. Me, myself, are very excited to send my investment layout to Kevin to take a look and let me know how much I should spend on. That's about it for today's episode. Do like and share this episode, and if you find this useful, share it to your friends and also subscribe to our channel. Bye.
Thank you.